guys, what's up? You are tuned into Music Box, where you can see the latest in American music videos. I'm your host, Maria Cozette, and today I have a great show for you. My guest is the very young and talented hip-hop artist, Kid Mars, so stay tuned for that. And for those of you who know me and know what I'm all about, you know that I like to support charities. One in particular is the Armenian Bone Marrow Donor Registry. They do incredible work throughout the year, and one big event that they have is coming up October 20th. It is the Walk of Life 2012 in Los Angeles. To register and to find out more information, go to abmdr.am. And again, that's coming up October 20th. Be an angel, save a life. Go to the website and find out more. Stay tuned for Music Box. Hey guys, what's up? You are tuned into Music Box, and as I said, I have a very talented young phenom hip-hop artist here with me today as my guest, Kid Mars. What's up?
Same old. What's going on with you, Maria?
Nothing much. Well, I'm happy you made it here on Music Box, and I have a lot of questions for you.
Of course.
So let's begin. What first intrigued you to get into music?
As far as inspiration and starting off, I started off by I was really interested in overall music and hip hop, breakdancing, and all that. And after seeing the legendary movie You Got Served, it kind of when I first saw it, I saw it first time, I fell in love with the movie. By the third time I saw it, I literally knew all the lyrics to every single song on there. And so yeah, I was just as a kid, I was wondering what I was so interested in. And first I thought it was the breakdancing moves and the dance and all that, but then after a while, after my sixth time watching it, I was kind of no, it's not the breakdancing, it's more of the hip hop and it's the music. And so I just did my little research, wrote the lyrics on Google, found out the song names and the artist, did a little research, did my homework, and just started writing overall. Just started writing about things that I didn't understand, and I thought I was, some crazy killer, and yeah. After that, it kind of grew as an artist and as a person growing up, and things changed, and now Here I am.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what's usually your writing process? What do you do? Are you usually at home? Are you in your car? I usually write my songs in the car. If I have a beat, I put it on. For some reason, I'm inspired in the car. What is your creative process?
Usually for everything that I've done so far, it's been get home from school, first thing, go through a couple beats, find the beat that I like the most, find the beat that I'm feeling and the way I'm feeling, whether sad or kind of down or more hype, and just listen to the beat a couple times, maybe 2-3 times, and kind of decide how I want to work with it, and just start with the first thing that's on my mind, the first thing I want to tell the people.
Cool. So I definitely want to, you said that coming home from school, so how old are you?
I'm 15 years old.
Which I love. That's so awesome that you started at such a young age. And how old were you when you first were inspired to start making music?
I started writing to other beats and took Tupac verses and
oh, so you like Tupac. I like how he's transcended into all these generations. Love it.
Yeah, I'm a really big Tupac fan, Wu-Tang, of course Biggie. And so I'd get their verses, mash them up, think they were mine, pick the favorite instrumental, and just rap over. And after a while, it was kind of hey, why don't I just try to write my own things and write about things that's actually going on in my life after watching interviews and all that stuff. And everything just flowed, and everything took its time, and I took everything slow, didn't rush anything, and that's just happened.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. So what about your first releases? We were talking a little bit earlier, and you told me about your mixtapes that you released. How old were you, and what kind of direction was that music in?
The first ever song that I recorded, which I hate so much.
It's always like that with artists. You always hate the first stuff you do, but everyone else likes it, so it's all good.
Yeah, so I was 12 when I first rapped onto a microphone. And so one day, my cousin, one of my older cousins, he heard me writing raps, and he saw a bunch of notebooks teared up and crossed out and all that. And he had a friend who had a studio, whose father had a studio, I'm sorry. And so he kind of got into contact with them. He told them that there's this kid who's, he's my little cousin, and he's really young, and he wants to try it out. So I went to the studio. It was like the craziest experience ever, and I was like, oh wow, like so many buttons. What does that do? What does that do? And I was trying to learn as much as I could.
Right.
And so I recorded like my first song, which, yeah, you guys don't want to hear it. And after that, it was kind of just, this is too crazy for me. He didn't like it. He didn't like the music. And so I went and I was like, you know what, forget him. I'm going to make my own music, and I'm going to do all of it. And
Nice.
I'm going to figure it out. So I went to Radio Shack with my dad and bought myself like a $25 microphone with the USB, connected it to my computer, and just started making music. And as that happened, I met more and more people. I met a couple engineers who invited me to their studio and this and that. I recorded like my first ever mixtape. I wouldn't really call it a mixtape. It was just a bunch of instrumentals that I liked, a bunch of songs that I liked. Grabbed them, wrote lyrics to it, put them together, called it a mixtape, and put it online. Like, got like 10 downloads, and after that, it was just time to grow, time to work harder, and time to do this and that.
Nice.
And so after that, it was when I released it when I was 13, and by the time I was 14, I released my second mixtape, which was actually like my first mixtape, which was more professional and recorded in my closet, but it was a little more professional than the first one. So
Cool. Well, now leading up to all of the things that you've done in the past, let's talk about what you're working on now. Right now you're working on what you said was somewhat like a mixtape because it's going to be for free, but it also has an overall general concept to it.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
it's kind of like a free album. So what's your musical direction? Like, is it more pop? Is it more, I would say, like hard-hitting beats? Is it more poetic and lyrical? What can fans expect?
For fans, what I'd say is don't expect little and don't expect too much. Expectations, they're always going to lead to negativity, so just try not to expect anything. But what I'm working on now is kind of, I'm trying to like, I'm just experimenting, because I mean, at the end of the day, no matter how much I tell myself that, oh no, you're a real artist and you're actually putting this much work in, I'm still young, and I'm just experimenting, trying to find myself in the music, trying to find what my sound is and what I actually want to tell people.
Right.
Because as the years go on, things are going to change. My perspective on life, everything's going to change. So I'm just doing what like is on my mind now. Whether it's, I feel like I want to write to a hard-hitting beat now, and oh no, I think now I should be a little more poetic and
Right,
more lyrical.
right.
So I'm just experimenting with different things. But as far as this new free album or mixtape, it's gonna be mostly, if not all, original production.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just gonna be what's on my mind now and what's going on in my life. I'm just gonna tell the people what's actually going on in my life, because everybody feels the need to just say their thoughts or what they think is going on. So I just want to let everybody know what's really going on.
Good for you. You should creatively and freely express yourself.
Yeah.
So who are some producers that you're working with?
As of now, producers are there's a couple producers who, like, in-house, where I'd go to the studio and they'd be there, they'd show me a couple beats, and
you guys vibe together and
we'd
create.
find which ones would be great for overall another project or this project. But as far as for this project, it's still open. I'm still looking for beats, and I'm still looking for new producers to work with. So
Cool.
producers, feel free to contact me and
Yes.
let's work.
And once again, for all information pertaining to Kid Mars, you can go to kidmars.com. Of course, it's on the screen for you to check out. And all music videos and all his music. And really, if you want to contact him, it's all there for you. That's kidmars.com. We're about to jump into your music video, which I really like. And actually, the way I came across you and found you was through Facebook, the power of social media. I just happened to be surfing through there and kind of stumbled upon your music, then went on YouTube, started checking out your music videos, and the one I liked the most was The Format. So how was the making of this song and the video? And then we're going to jump into it.
The Format was actually really interesting and one of my favorite songs that the process was my favorite because it was just so quick and it was so unplanned. We didn't plan anything.
Always the best things kind of come out like that.
Yeah, we just went into the studio. We're like, let's work on something. So we just started browsing through beats and went over just numbers and numbers of beats, and I was like, no, I'm not feeling that. And so I was just we were just surfing through the web and we're on YouTube searching for other artists and this and that for inspiration. I came across AZ, The Format, which was his song, produced by DJ Premier. Mm-hmm. And so I heard the beat, and DJ Premier is one of my favorite producers ever. So he's really a big inspiration of mine. And after I saw it, I was like, wow, DJ Premier. I was like, he inspires me, and why not just do it? So
right.
I just started writing, and we got some creative juices flowing, and turned out to be The Format.
Yeah, I really like it. And what about the music video as far as the shooting of it? How was that?
The shooting of it was just amazing how it happened, how it came together, because we recorded the track, and after we recorded it, we mixed it down, everything was ready. I was in the studio for about 9 hours just on that one track, and my friend, who's actually a part of my team, and he's my photographer and director, mm-hmm. A3 Photography. He was flying out to Miami, and it was 2 days before he was flying out to Miami, and so we recorded it 2 days before he was flying out, and he calls me the next day and he tells me, he's like, I'm going to Miami for 2 weeks. We're not really gonna be able to work on anything. Right. Let's do something right now. And so I was like, well, what do you want to do? And he was like, well, that one track that we recorded, because he was in the studio also, and he was like, well, that one track that we recorded, why don't we just try to do something, a video for it? And I was like, well, how are we gonna plan this all out in a day? So we just sat down. He wrote me a script in an hour and 30 minutes. We had the entire script down of what we need, how everything's gonna go. So he came through last minute, but we finished it and people liked it a lot. So he flew out to Miami, worked on it over there for about a week or two. Sent it back, he came back, sent it to me. I loved it, and then we were just like, let's release it. Let's see what people's reaction is, and people love it. Yeah,
people do love it. I see all this great hype around it. So without further ado, here it is. This is Kid Mars with the song The Format, and it's produced and directed by A3. Check it out.
It's The Format.
Hey, you know what I'm sick of, man? People talking shit, saying this and saying that. Do your own thing, man. Why you gotta hate? Look, they say this dude's this, and they say this dude's that, and they say this too hip, and they say this too rap. And I say it to your face, but wouldn't hear nothing back. So I'ma write it down perfected, put it all in this track. Get them thinking, is it you? Is it me? Is it who? Is it he? Is it Luke? Is it Lee? Others think it's just a we. It's my motherfucking passion, got me rapping off the beat. Haters got me feeling heat. I go ham out on the beef, Kid Mars, he about to blow. Flow is just incredible. A couple friends, they had to go. You asked me what's the matter, yo. Hey Mars, what's the matter, bro? Rolling up and pass it off, roll it up, take a hit and pass it back laterally.
roll the same, God said we fam, they ain't here with me today. And tell them to they ain't with me when I'm paid, cause these fellas fake, see they hate straight through their face. They hear when you got money, they lost when you tryna chase. Those the ones that fake and have got to be replaced. And the ones that's down to ride, those the ones you should embrace. But I keep my head up cause I got food in my plate. We ain't promised no tomorrow, I'ma say it all today. Look, cause this the format, this is the format. Talk ish, get stepped on like a doormat. Cause this the format, this is the format. You talk ish, you get stepped on like a doormat. Cause it's the format, this is the format. Talk ish, get stepped on like a doormat. Cause it's the format, this is the format. You talk ish, you get stepped on like a doormat. And if no one ever listens, boy, I do this for myself. I did it on my own, ain't nobody ever helped. The truth feeds my soul, don't got money but got hope. Don't got a beamer, no a ghost. Never been the type to pose, keep it real, that's how it goes. Every night I praise the Lord, will I make it, yes or no? Who the fuck really knows? Will I be here to perform, be here to give my fans a show? And if a hater doesn't hate them, what's a hater for? They talking money but they broke. They say they made it, they ain't close. And I'm just sitting there alone. And if a hater doesn't hate them, what the fuck's a hater for? Cause this the format, this is the format. Talk ish, get stepped on like a doormat. Cause this the format, this is the format. You talk shit, you get stepped on like a doormat. Cause it's the format, this is the format. Talk shit, get stepped on like a doormat. Cause it's the format, this is the format. You talk shit, you get stepped on like a doormat.
Very cool video, loved it. And we are back with Kid Mars. You can check him out at kidmars.com and of course on Facebook, Kid Mars, of course. And now let's get into some more questions. You have ventured into the world of acting recently and filmed some shows. So tell me about that experience moving away from music into a different realm of entertainment.
How the acting started was, before I made music the priority, and music was what I was working on day in, day out. It was a good friend of mine who was working in production, in film production. He contacted me one day and he was telling me that there was like a casting for this new show, and he was like, you should really come because, you know, the director loves Armenians and there aren't too many Armenians here, so maybe you should come and, you know, try it out. So I was like, all right, let's go. He came pick me up and we went there, and what happened was as soon as I stepped in, the director just, I guess he liked me from like the first time he saw me, and he was just waiting for like my time to go and read the script. And so I went on and he really liked it, and we just, you know, we exchanged numbers and emails, and he contacted me. I didn't get that show because the part that I liked the most and was already taken, and I didn't want to do the other part.
Right. You want to do something you're very passionate about.
Yeah. And so he contacted me like a month later. I thought he'd never call me again, but he contacted me a month later, and so he told me that there was a show he was working on, and it would take some time, but we'd do it. So, you know, time passed and I was just waiting for it, and while he was getting the script done and all that, I started working more on music. And during last summer, he contacted me and he told me that, you know, there was a show and it was ready and they had everything ready and they were going to start the filming, and he was asking me how I'd like to be a part of it, and we just went on from there, and I got my role in there.
And what is the role?
The role is a young guy who's just addicted to partying and who just goes crazy, doesn't pay attention ever in school, just a failure, and he's just the life of the party. And I don't want to, you know, spoil it.
Yeah, you don't want to spoil it. But let it be known, hopefully you're not following that path in your actual life. So this is acting.
Definitely,
yeah.
This is only acting.
But that's dope. Okay, and so where could people see the show, and when can they expect it? Is it coming up soon, or?
Expect it early next year, January, February. I don't really know what's going on with it because it's in post production and it's being edited and all that. So as soon as I get information about when it'd be up and
it'll be on
some
your
more
website?
information, it'll be on my website, my Facebook, Twitter. So just follow me, and I'll keep you.
I'll keep you posted.
I'll keep you posted. About
So on Twitter, are you at Kid Mars?
At I'm Kid Mars.
At I'm Kid Mars. Okay, cool. So twitter.com/I'm Kid Mars. And on Facebook, Kid Mars. Of course, YouTube, Kid Mars. The whole thing, Kid Mars. And kidmars.com for all the social media links and updates. So now, let's talk about the positive movements. Now, every indie artist has to have a team behind them to kind of support them and encourage them to move forward and solidify kind of their ideas and everything. Yours is positive movements. Who is that comprised of? Who's in it? How'd you guys link up? Tell me a little about it.
Okay, people always get this confused, and they always assume other things, but what positive movements is it started off with me and a couple of my friends who supported me, and because when I started, it was just about, oh, you're crazy, like you don't know what you're doing, you're chasing a wild dream, it's probably not going to come true. And
no worries, it's always like that.
And the people who actually supported me, and the people who were with me, and they told me, do it, don't listen to them. When have they ever been right? What are they doing?
Awesome.
The people who were with me then are still with me now, and positive movements, it's more than just a team. It's more than just people who I'm with. It's like it's a movement. It's about kids who no matter what, no matter through everything that happens, through the bad days and the good days and all the times that we're down, just to keep it positive and to always remember that how thankful we should be to have the life that we have, because when we have a home over our head and there's other people who don't have food to eat, and we should always be positive about the things that we do have. So positive movements is just our movement and our idea of life and how we see it, and it's just me and my friends and of course the fans. What people think when we speak of independent artists, they think that it's just me and I'm the one who books out my own shows, who does my own everything, writes my own songs, mixes and my own music, produces my own music. It's much more than that. It's just because I'm independent, that means that there is no big record label or big marketing firm pushing my music.
Right.
It's more of just a couple of my friends who everybody has their own duty and everybody has their own job, and everybody plays their own role in it to make our entire group, to make our entire, more than Kid Mars, and to make positive movements what positive movements is.
Right.
And so one person would be doing the photography and the directing and the filming. The other person would be helping me come up with my lyrics, or would help me come up with my list, the list of music, like the playlist, and just all types of things. Another person would be booking the shows. One person would be managing me, making sure everything's on point, making sure I don't miss anything. And so it's just a collection of my friends who support me.
I like it that you guys convey positivity, because of course on Music Box we do that. So I think that's awesome, and I think that's great that your friends support you in your adventure, I should say, because it is going to be an adventure and a long road. So I wish you the absolute best.
Thank you.
So what are some things that we can expect in the future, and what are some goals that you have? Like, what would you consider to be the pinnacle of your career, where when you're there, you're like, okay, cool, I made it?
As far as the term "I made it," I actually think this is like one of the greatest questions ever, because a lot of artists get asked this question and nobody really has an answer to what "I made it" is. And some people would think getting a record deal is that they made it.
Right.
Other
To everyone, it's completely different.
If somebody who's recently getting signed or recently got a record deal, they think they made it. But to somebody like Jay-Z and Kanye West, they still think that they haven't made it. They still think there's further to go, because in music and in acting and the entertainment industry, it's always, you can do better than what the last person did. You can always set new records and new goals, and the point of it is just keep going to see how far you can get in a certain amount of time that you have. And my goal is just, you know, I don't want a big house or a fancy car or any of that. I just want my message and what I think. I want people to kind of agree with it, and I want people to understand where I'm coming from and what my goals are and how I feel. I want them to understand it and not just assume certain things. You know, I want, one thing I want is for just positivity. I want everybody to be positive, because throughout, it's not just through music that I try to do this. When I see somebody who's having a bad day or is down, I'm just the type of person who try to make them feel better, because seeing somebody smiling on the street just makes me happy inside. And instead of somebody who's, you know, just sitting on the corner crying or sitting on the corner with a hoodie on. So.
Oh, that's sweet. You're a sweetheart. I love it. That's cool.
So that's what just goals are. I mean, what my goal is just to be as big as I can, is to be as the best I can ever be and the best anyone has ever been. It's
Nice.
Honestly everybody's goal to set a new record, and to set a new record that the person before you didn't.
Right.
To just, you know, just keep getting bigger and keep learning as I grow and
Nice.
grow as an artist.
And again, another reason why I, you know, reached out to you and found you, and again reached out to you and asked you to come onto Music Box, was because regardless of whether or not I liked your music, which I did, and whether or not I liked your videos, which I did, it's because I could see that you have a work ethic, and I could see that you were working very hard towards something you're passionate about. And you can see all of that in, like, you're 15 and you already have like 3-4 music videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is awesome. You know, when I even started out, which was a really long time ago, like my first music video was only like 5-6 years after that I was able to produce a music video.
Mm-hmm.
So just the fact that you have so many music videos, and I can see that you're like really strong, pushing forward with your dreams, is what really inspired me to bring you onto Music Box. So thank you. And so we're about to wrap up with Kid Mars. Of course, stay tuned for some hot music videos. But is there anything you would like to address to fans out there watching?
Fans, just always keep it positive, and positive movements is more than just my team, and it's more than just me. A very big portion, if not the entire, are the fans, because what's a great idea without somebody supporting it? What's a great song without a fan listening to it? And what's a hit without, you know, people listening to it? What's a song on the radio if nobody's gonna hear it? It's nothing. So to the fans, just I want you to understand that you mean as much to me as you know, the people who are with me and who got me to this point and are gonna get me somewhere or further in the future. So I want you to know that it's you supporting me means everything, and your tweets in the mornings, and you know, your comments on my Facebook posts and all that. It definitely means a lot. And to all the artists who don't really tell their fans that, I think that you guys should know that anybody that you're a fan of and anybody you support, honestly inside of them, they know that they're nothing without you. So I appreciate everything you guys, you know, the support that you guys have been showing, the love that you guys have been showing, and just keep doing it. I'm gonna work harder to provide better music and better things in the future.
Very well said. Exactly. That's actually what I always say, is the fans are equally as important as the artists. So very well said. Once again, go to kidmars.com to check out everything pertaining to this young gentleman. Extremely talented, extremely motivated, and expect great things from him. Stay tuned.